Hi everyone, I'm Yael Evan, and my ISM word for you today is journalism. In my Media and Society class, I learned that we learn more than the average person did in the 1400s simply by reading the New York Times. Isn't that absolutely crazy? That just goes to show how much access we have to information in our everyday lives. Now, according to dictionary.com, journalism is writing that reflects superficial thought and research, popular slant, and hurried composition conceived as exemplifying topical newspaper or popular magazine writing as distinguished from scholarly writing. Journalism is just beyond writing. So today I'm going to share with you how it all began, what it entails, and what journalism is today. So please tune along with me. Benjamin Harris published the first newspaper in the United States in 1690, and it was the only paper he published. However, having access to the news then isn't so easy as it is today. Having access to the news was a symbol of status and class. The first obstacle one would have to overcome is being able to read. Not many people could read back then, because if you were in school, then that means you had money, and if you weren't, that means you were working because you simply had to provide and work for your family. The second obstacle you have to overcome is being able to afford it. So not many people could afford it, therefore meaning that people high in power and who are wealthy could read and afford the news. However, with many technological advancements, it made the news more accessible. For example, the steam press aided in the penny press. The penny press rose in popularity in the 1830s. With faster printing, it increased literacy. And the cool thing is, it was only a penny. Hint the name. So more and more people had their hands on a copy, and therefore more and more people were able to read because reading the news was a common thing between all classes. Now, let's talk about what news is today. Do we just rely on one source for the news? No, we rely on many sources, according to masteringcommunications.com. Allsides.com provides news from both viewpoints. Oftentimes, like CNN and Fox, they tend to be more Republican. However, Allsides provides news from both viewpoints, so you can get news from the Democratic point of view and the Republican point of view, or even news from the middle. And many of us rely on social media for news. I personally use Twitter, but I know many people who use Facebook, Instagram, even Snapchat, or even by word of mouth. How are we able to stay informed every second of the day? And I have an answer for you, my friends. It's not just the writers. It's also the reporters, the broadcasters, and the anchors. Their purpose in life is to breathe and live journalism, to live and breathe the news. News essentially is hard to avoid. Everything is happening every second of the day. And news does not only play a role in my life, but it also plays a role in democracy. And that ties in with the First Amendment, which is freedom of speech and freedom of the press. We live in a representative democracy where we can elect officials to represent us, and especially with the upcoming election, journalism plays a huge role in that, because that's how we get to learn about our candidates. In my Media and Society textbook, edited by Kara Gold, Thomas Jefferson said, "You cannot legislate journalism or excellence, let alone journalistic excellence." Journalism isn't just based by the reporters, it's also based on us. We give journalists what to write about, how we respond to situations, how our president has responded to COVID, how we as a society responded to lockdown. So journalism, we affect journalism as a whole. Also, watchdogs, their whole purpose is to dig up the news, so they give us the latest news and dirt on our president. Journalism plays a huge role in democracy because it challenges us citizens to stay informed and up to date and question the people around us. So basically, journalism isn't just writing, it's so much more than that. And I hope that you learned how it's not just writing. There's so much that goes into the role of journalism, and it's all thanks to the reporters, the broadcasters, the anchors, and us citizens make journalism what it is today. So I hope when you meet a journalism major, you don't think just writing. So thank you. Bye, y'all.